So I've been working on, I haven't been doing anything. Claude's been working on getting this game running on the N64. This is running on the N64 right now. So this is running on on an emulator called Ares. Claude installed it. I've never heard of it before. Um, it's playing this right now. I'm not doing this. This is Claude running the game. So I don't know how this works. It doesn't have tools. It doesn't have an MCP running for it. It literally is controlling the game engine, as far as I know. I mean, not the game engine, but the emulator. I do have keys mapped on the keyboard. I promise you, this is not me. I'm happy that we're at 60 frames a second. There's still quite a lot that we're doing, but it's got the HUD working. It's got the gun work. It's got the guns working. It's got a lot of the models. Actually, I think all the models are there. Got a couple new ones. Font's way too low resolution. Got to fix that. But we're still work in progress. Currently have 2 agents running in the background. We had up to 4 at one point doing different things. So some agents converting models or working on getting the models into the engines. Some agents have been working on getting the guns to work correctly. Some agents have been working on the renderer. But this is I really don't want to interrupt what it's doing, but just say see, we're running this. And this is, I don't know, I don't want to blow it up. You can see we're running different M64 images or ROMs, but it's done everything. It's got the MIPS code working. Everything's being written in C. I guess there's a way to take the models out of 3. I mean, you can see we got particle effects. Our walkers, they're walking correctly. We don't have, those blocks currently don't register collisions on our mech, but it's working on getting the sniper rifle working right now. It also needs to do some work on the lit. Oh, though it's got it working. Okay. Well, that was one thing I was wanting to do. You can see the eyes on the different models are lit now. They were black in just the last version, but now they're lit up, and they're the same with on these. There were some issues with how the shadows worked. You can see we have 2 agents working in the background. I do like agent mode. So essentially, just so people are interested in this at all, what I did was I had Claude update its Claude its markdown file to specifically instruct itself to always use agentic functionality. Anything that can be branched off to an agent to do it. I was looking at, there was some posts about the fork command, which is a little bit different. Like if something's running, you can fork something else off. And I used that for something at work today. But for this, I just tell it to always keep in mind what can be done by someone else and to separate it out. So we've had anywhere from 1 additional agent to up to 4 agents doing different tasks. And then, you know, this main chat supervising them. It was interesting because if we scroll, like we'd have to scroll way back. This is, it was funny. The agent correctly overruled my instruction. I told the camera parent the gun through a second viewport. And then it just goes on. It talks about how the agent determined something differently than what the sub agent determined something differently than what we have going on, like with the primary agent or the orchestrator thought was the right way to go. So it's really interesting, but we've got everything running. Everything in our 4K of cache, it's running out of it. We're running at 60 frames a second right now. Um, Still some work to do, but I had to share because it's pretty awesome. I don't think anybody would guess you could have Claude make an N64 game. And yeah, as soon as Mod Retro came out and Palmer Luckey did his video about how they, want to promote making new games, like I have every intent to get this fully developed. It's going to end up being 8 or 9 levels, I think, in total, because it'll be 4 FPS levels and 5 rail shooter levels, and then the tutorial. So I guess if you want to count that, which this is what this is, and then I will get 4-player multiplayer going to where you just play as the mech and you can run around in various levels to fight, and that'll be it. I'm hoping to have it done before the end of August. I mean, to be honest, like 24 hours later, I didn't have this last night. We literally started last night building out the N64 version, and we've got a lot of it done. Supposedly it has the full tutorial, but I have not been able to play it yet, and it's doing its thing right now, testing stuff. So I'll wait until it's done testing, but had to share it. AI, man, it's amazing. And I mean, just to think, I'm gonna say this. Like, if you look at my channel, I think it's public still. There is this crappy River Raid block based game that I made last year with with Gemini, and it was just trying to get the logic down and just playing around with what could I build. And I built a couple 3D games last year. I'm not gonna lie, with Gemini, like they're 3Js, like this UFO game where you could kidnap cows, and had this hilarious red truck. It was all hilly, so the truck had this pretty funny physics because it would go flying all over the screen. And there was like a guy. It was like essentially what it was like this countryside. I'll have to make a video on it. There's this countryside, and you played as a UFO, and you went around and you kidnapped cows and you beamed them up. And it had farmers that had rifles, and if you went over the farmer, its beam would turn to a death ray and would kill the farmer. But if it was a cow or a sheep, it would beam them up. And then every now and then a red truck would come driving through the countryside because the game was hilly. The way that the ground was made, it was hilly. The truck would often like be in midair jumping. It's good stuff. But yeah, it's super amazed. I have it building an N64 game, and it's testing it in an emulator that it suggested. People, I don't, and you can think that this isn't that impressive, but it's writing code that is running on not an easy to develop for architecture that had very specific hardware constraints around it. That 4K of memory for the buffer or for the cache, I mean, is really a big deal. And like we're sitting here and we're making sure that everything, like how many polygons render, like what our frame time is, like we're tracking all this stuff, and it's incredible because Claude's on it. Like every time I bring something up, I'm like, what can we do? Like, what are our limitations? And we're running at 60 frames a second on at least on this emulator. We'll see. At some point I want to get what is that thing called? The summer cart. What is that cart called? Yeah, just the summer cart 64. So as soon as we get far enough along with this, I'm going to get a summer cart 64 and try to throw this on the Mod Retro. And I've got an analog 3D also. I've never opened it, but my Mod Retro or my M64 shipped today, so it should be here by the weekend. So I'm hoping, oh, man, I'm hoping I can get this ready to go and throw this on run this on the M64 by the weekend. But when we get the whole tutorial working, I'm gonna upload another video. But I had to share. It's awesome.